Money on my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Raidinator, and we are back at it for our second monthly debut of Operation Debt. This is going to be the update from November 2024, rolling in to December 2024. Last month of the year, people. New Year's Eve is coming up. Hope you guys got your plans. All these consumer holidays hit you right at the end of the year. Hopefully, you're not fumbling the bag. We're trying to make some headway over here. So let's jump right into it. What we are looking at is we are looking at our total debt from 2024. So what we've got, we started off at $28,000. Now there's two things that we are not going to be listing moving forward after they're paid off. And that is going to be the Cash App and the in-home banking. The reason being is these are debt tools that are being used, so it pops on, pops off, pops on, pops off. But the other thing is the Cash App has like a solidified debt date that has to be paid back. The in-home banking technically is at my behest. Like it's a flat 10%. It's my money. It's what it is. So is the Cash App. Now, the thing that's going to be interesting moving forward is the way that we've tweaked this, and the reason this isn't going to show up is because it won't make it to the end of the month ever again. So what I was doing was as soon as I was paying this back, I was just redeploying the 650 to, get stuff going in the markets, get things moving how they needed to do. And with the way that my income portfolio is set up, the bulk payment that generally pays this off is the fourth week of the month. So outside of that, I'm having to divert income from my paycheck to pay this back. Now, the goal is to have these paid back, both the Cash App and the in-home banking, because these are what we're using to take baseball bat swings at this debt, to have that paid back out of our dividend payment at the end of the month. As it sits right now, we are not capable of deploying the Cash App more than once a month. Reason being is with that fourth week, I'm having to manage this throughout the paycheck, and I want the W-2 income as much as possible to clear the daily driver card, and that's it. And then everything else goes into the income portfolio, and we'll distribute out of there. One of the things that I am looking at doing, though, is I am using it to pay back the in-home banking. So like I am taking little niblets out of the in-home banking to do that. And then whatever card is due around that payday, I'm clearing that out of the way so I don't have to worry about catching late payments, basically is what it is. Like I update going into that card. I'm like, what needs to be paid, what minimum. So that's managing the debt, like all the 0% interest debt. So Cash App and in-home banking, once that's paid off, once this amount is paid off, we're going to be clearing that out, and that's not going to be a part of the active debt because the Cash App won't be on there for more than 3 weeks at a time. So it'll never not be paid off by the end of the month. So it's going to become a non-factor. And also the in-home banking realistically should get about gone at the end of every month. Like it should just be gone. Like there might be something that pops up in there, but the Cash App will be at zero moving forward. Like it should just be at zero. Actually, let me go ahead and wipe that out because that's not going to be anything anymore. So as we can see, we have made a pretty decent dent. We started off at a little over 28,000. We are now at 26,929.81, which is cool. This being the last month, what we are looking at doing from a strategic perspective is I got to go check my credit cards and see if there is a way for me to move this. Reason being is we are going into the end of the year. So this is going to be my last Hail Mary at this amount. And I really am going to need it to be in a 0% state, because the first 3 months of 2025, we will be in management / coast mode, being that we will not have large chunks of money coming out of our income portfolio because we'll be preparing for tax season. What that means is, the way that I've set this up is the first 3 months of the year, we just don't take anything out of the income portfolio really, unless it's investment related. And we just reinvest everything, build up an even bigger dividend paycheck. And if we need to come out of that portfolio to sell things off, then we'll sell stuff out of the long-term portfolio, because we will be making some buys over there. But that aside, we're getting ready for that tax burden and hopefully increasing our income enough to where when that tax bill comes in, and I'm pretty sure this should work for this year because it should only be about $12,000 in additional income to add to my collective income, which shouldn't really be putting me in a different tax bracket just yet. But as we get to April, we'll take that cash dividend, and that's going to be sitting in cash, and we'll just be waiting to see how much we owe, and then we'll be moving that over into the bank account and navigating accordingly to get the tax bill paid. Which, if possible, we'll be putting it on a card and then just clearing the card out. But for those 3 months, we won't have the additional income, so I would prefer to have this in a 0% state. And then we'll shift the focus to maybe, as we're getting through here, cutting back on the expenses and just paying off this. So right now we're using our Capital One Quicksilver as our daily driver. If we make these moves, we might move back to the Chase Slate Reserve as the daily driver, and then just not accrue a bunch of senseless debt. Those are the goals anyway. That's what we'd like to do. As far as the Citibank goes, obviously that's in maintenance mode. As far as the Chase Slate goes, we've been taking the most sizable chunks we possibly can out of that. In-home banking will be paid before the end of next month, and then this will be zeroed out, so we actually will have a little bit less. But we're just trying to get the medical debt that's auto pay, so I'm not really worried about that right now. That was when I realized you could do a payment plan and they don't charge you any interest, which is awesome. So that's interest-free money right there. And so with that said, like, I am not in a rush to pay this back, because they pull it every month anyway. I do have some medical expenses that are going off of this card still, which is why I'm actually pretty impressed that the velocity banking strategy that we've implemented, shout out to the Stidhams, is working. Like, we're actually making a dent in this, and I've got, generally speaking, about $400 a week or $400 a month, because I'm getting charged my physical therapy sessions are about $110, $120. So there's that's going on there. And then the auto pay for this medical bill up here is going on there as well. And so that's like an addition. So it's about $600. So like, we're clearing the $600 plus chunking it down, which is nice. But unfortunately, that is just going to be eating at me for 3 months. And I don't want this scenario to be eating at me for 3 months. Like, that's just not how we're trying to do things. Like, we're trying to be out here. We're trying to live. We're trying to eat. So I'm gonna see what we can do to get that shifted, because starting next year, which I'm hoping to be out of physical therapy fairly soon. Like, I'm pretty much going to be put in a drop dead date because I'm basically back to where I need to be. The dancing part of it, like I actually started being able to train that, but I want to get the most that I can out of these physical therapy sessions. So I did go past my visit limit, and I am paying out of pocket because I want to get back to as close to 100%, if not better. Because I think that depending on how stuff goes, I could be in a space where it's going to be better. Or at least get back to 100%. Let's call it that. Like, I don't know about better. I mean, I'm stronger everywhere else, but the compromised tendon is still very much compromised, and that just is what it is. We had surgery, we got it fixed, but I'd like to be able to do things that I want to do, such as rock climbing, resuming breakdancing, all the fun activities that I enjoy, that are physical, hiking, all that stuff, which I can go hiking now. I actually can hike, but just getting back to that, I'm thinking I got maybe another month before I can handle it on my own, because I do go to the gym like regularly. So, and I've been incorporating a lot of those protocols. So I think probably another month and then getting on an at-home protocol is what I'm going to try to do, because I'm also going to do stem cell therapy after this is over. So I'm kind of in a little bit of a rush to get that done, because I'd like to get it done so I can be strong again, or as strong, close to strong, something. I don't know. But yeah, so that'll be dropping off, and then it'll just be that medical expense, and I'll have an additional $400 that I probably will be squirreling away somehow, some way into investing and then paying the debt off faster. But we're moving in the right direction. We'll see what the end, because I still haven't finished my Christmas shopping. I've got a few gifts to get. But that aside, I mean, I think that's going to be covered with our dividends this month. So not super worried about it. But yeah, so we're moving in the right direction. We're making the appropriate steps given the transparency here. Obviously, these episodes are a little bit short, kind of a droll topic. I know a bunch of people don't like talking about debt. I do, because I was in a space to where I could take this hit. So, everybody says everybody's supposed to be homeless after this happens. This is how you lose your house. Like, this is everything breaks. And it's like, well, going through a major surgery, being down for a month and a half, coming back on light duty, not full hours. Granted, fortunately for me, I'm salary, but being able to come back, get back into the groove of things, carrying on these additional expenses. And then for the surgery, all this stuff was paid out of pocket. I did hit my deductible limit, but like for the thing that I'm paying for, it doesn't even matter, because like as those are covered, it's like, okay, well, we don't cover all the visits that you need. So like I'm having to pay that out of pocket. Head gasket on the car, that was an additional $5,000 on top of the $10,000 for surgery. $400 a month for physical therapy, basically, after we got through the expense of what we had going there. It just is what it is. And so documenting the pay down on this, because I'm not liquidating assets to just clear this out. I could do that. I could go ahead and take the additional tax burden of liquidating assets, paying this back, and then, starting over from scratch with the opportunity cost of the assets that were sacrificed to get into these positions. Or I could just use the dividends and pay them off. Now, obviously, we're going to have to go in that holding pattern, because this month, like this next couple of months, preparing for taxes, but that's also going to be building up the dividend payout. So like my income should get a swift kick in the keister going into April. And then after we pay whatever we owe in taxes, if we owe, we'll see, because they raised the standard write-off. It's supposed to be $15,000, and I don't know that I have over $15,000 of taxable write-offs at this juncture. So we'll see. but we're gonna be definitely keeping an eye on this, because like now that I wanted this gone before we got into the bull run, and that did not happen. So here we are. And yeah, you know, life happens. You have the best laid plans, but I'll tell you this, after this time around of getting this cleared out, it'll be different, because all debt that we have moving forward will be asset tied debt that's floating debt, and the assets will pay for it. And if we run into this situation again, I will have enough of a foundation, enough of an income base going to where if I do feel the need to liquidate some assets to pay that off, it'll be something that will be manageable without having the same opportunity cost as what it would cost me now. Because cutting these things now is going to add another year onto the amount of time that I have to work. And we're trying to get to not having to work as soon as possible. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode. This has been the November 2024 Operation Debt Update. Your boy Reckless Raid and Arrow. If you've been here more than twice, hit that subscribe. Definitely hit the like button. I don't really know what there is to hate about these videos specifically, so I'm not expecting any dislikes. We can have a conversation about it down in the comments if for some odd reason you found something to dislike about the Operation Debt video. But hit the subscribe, turn your bell notification on. This is a monthly update, so I will be seeing you guys again in January of the new year with the December Operation Debt Update. It's your boy Reckless Raid and Arrow, and until next month, peace.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play, man, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.